Hola chicos, good to see you guys. This week in Spanish 2, we are going to start something totally new. This is that concept that I had been talking to you guys about, and I'm hoping that you guys are ready to take this next step. So what I'm planning on doing is giving you this instructional video. I do have an optional activity that I posted online that happens to be in your pink Preterit packet. If you don't have that, don't worry. I put additional copies of that online. And that is going to be optional work that you guys can do. But if you don't do those practice activities, by the time it comes for our final assessment this week, you might struggle to do this. So the first thing I want you guys to do is I'm going to have you guys open up Schoology. And on Schoology, I'm hoping that you guys will find a couple different things. Number one, I'm hoping that you guys will find these notes. Now, these notes are there as we would have taken them in class. Today, we are actually not starting at the top of our note sheet, but we are going to start here where it's called the memorized. And the reason why I'm going to start with these is there are 5 verbs that if we start learning right away, these are high frequency words. If we start learning them in the tense, these are basically 5 verbs that we're just going to have to memorize. So if you would like to take notes as we would in class, I try to use a lot of the same visuals throughout a presentation that I'm about to go through. That would be a great idea. I also put a PDF of this presentation up on Schoology so you guys could go back and look at those as you need to. But what I'm going to start with here are basically the introduction to our preterite. Now, if we were in class, I would have shown you this same exact presentation, and I would have probably switched up the order a little bit, but I think for this first week, learning 5 verbs and kind of understanding how they're used is going to be easier than starting with all the regulars. So we're going to start with 5 weird ones, okay? Now, what exactly is the preterite? The preterite are things that happened in the past. And so the 5 verbs that we're going to learn today are things that have happened, and basically they're completed actions. So if you look at my 2 little guys here, the guy with his little ice cream cone, how many times do you think his ice cream fell? Well, once. Twice, if he's an idiot, picks it up, sticks it back on the ice cream cone, and it falls again. But it's only going to happen a certain number of times. Notice how many times this little guy over here slips and falls on the banana peel? Well, probably only once, unless he's an idiot once again and continues to do it, okay? Notice that I said here in Spanish, there are things that are finished in the past, and they have only occurred once or twice. They're fast actions, okay? Why am I telling you this? Is because actually there are 2 past tenses. In Spanish 2, our goal for now until the end of AE learning is going to be learning and trying to master this first past tense, okay? So we're going to start with our first verb. And if you notice, I have an icon there where there's 2 kids. They look identical. And so basically they are twins. They are gemelos. What verbs are exactly the same? What this means is that when I conjugate the verb ser, to be, or I conjugate the verb ir, to go, to this past tense, basically they are going to be the same no matter which verb I am conjugating. So if I wanted to say, for example, in the past, to be in the yo form, in English that would be I was. If you notice the screen, it's very simply there, F-U-I. How do we say that? Fui, fui, okay? If you were, fuiste. He or she or you formal were, fue. We were, fuimos. They were, fueron, okay? So once again, it sounds like fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fueron, okay? Same thing if I was doing ir, which means to go. So if I wanted to say I went in English, I would say fui. You went, fuiste. He or she or you formal went, fue. We went, fuimos. And they or all y'all went, fueron. Okay. So I call these the twin verbs. Just have to memorize them. The next memorized verb, what verb is irregular just because it doesn't have accents? And eventually that will make sense to you, but none of these 5 have any accents. Next week, when we start moving forward, you're going to find out that a lot of them do have accents, and we will learn that rule. But for now, we're learning the 5. Ser and ir, number 1 and 2. Ver is verb number 3. So if you notice it, all we have to know is ver looks a lot like it kind of, you would expect it to. It has some different endings, but we're just going to memorize this verb. Vi, viste, vio, vimos, vieron. Now remember, if we're talking more like with our actual Hispanic kind of accent, or how Miss Erky sometimes does in class, vi, viste, vio, vimos, vieron. Verb number 4 is going to be the verb dar. And if you notice, my little symbol for this one is a guy that's dressed up as a superhero. The reason why is he's a wannabe. He wants to be an ER verb, okay? Eventually, you will find out that the ER endings look a lot like the verb dar. Di, diste, dio, dimos, dieron. I gave di, you gave diste, he gave dio, we gave dimos, and they gave dieron. Okay? So even though it's an AR verb, it's going to take ER endings. And like I said, the endings for the regulars will come next week. So what are we going to do? We're just going to memorize verb number 4 is dar, di, diste, dio, dimos, dieron. The last of our 5 memorized verbs is the verb hacer. Now, hacer is a very irregular verb, and if you notice my verb guy, there's really no reason why it changes. It's just kind of wacky. It does its own thing. If you notice that even looking at the conjugation, the he, she form, where did that Z come from? Nobody knows. Where did this I come from? Nobody knows. So it's just really wacky, and it's just best just to memorize that one. Okay, so if I did or I made, but also don't forget, hacer also means like to pack, we're going to use this verb. Yo hice, I did, I made, or I packed. Hiciste, you did, you made, or you packed. Hizo, he did, he made, or he packed. Hicimos, we did, we made, or we packed. And hicieron, they did, they made, or they packed. These 5 verbs are the only 5 verbs that we're going to focus on this week. So there is the practice that you guys can do in the Preterit pink worksheets that I gave you guys before spring break. Don't worry if you don't have that. There's a folder on Schoology that has all that information in there. And then what I also am going to do starting tomorrow is I will upload the actual answer key for sheets numbers 1, 2, and 3. Sheet 1 goes with ser and ir. Remember, ser and ir are our twin verbs, the memorized. Fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, fueron. The next sheet, number 2, is with ver and dar. Vi, viste, vio, vimos, vieron, and di, diste, dio, dimos, dieron. The third practice sheet is with hacer. Hice, hiciste, hizo, hicimos, hicieron. And I don't have plans for you guys to hand this in, but I think some of you might need a little practice with it. This week, you also have a conjugation/translation worksheet that you guys will have to submit. And your favorite, you guys are going to use good old conjuguemos to make sure that you guys have your 5 memorized verbs actually memorized. You will have a 5-minute time limit. You will have to do 50 verbs in that 5 minutes. However, because of that, I'm giving you an extended time to make sure you have your 5 memorized verbs. As long as you submit by Sunday at 11:59 p.m., your 5 memorized verbs on conjuguemos at a 75% or better, you guys will be marked down as proficient. So remember, you have 2 major assignments that you have to get done this week. Number 1 is the translations, where there are 6 different sentences that include the memorized verbs. It is still using the airport vocabulary, so you might want to have that vocab sheet handy. Okay, Number 2 will be the graded conjugamos activity, which will be due by Sunday, basically at midnight. Okay. The reason why I want you guys to memorize these, like I said, we use ser a lot, we use ir a lot, we use hacer a lot. Memorize these verbs, and then next week we'll get to the more intricate parts of the preterite. Okay. One other thing that I want to let you guys know about for this week is that on Thursday, and every single Thursday that we're doing e-learning, I basically will have an open Zoom. I'm not going to require that you log in. However, I think some of you might have questions. Some of you might just want to pop in because you're bored. Some of you might want to stop by and say hello. Okay. Expectations basically are going to be when you do come in that you're not rude or disruptive or distracting to anybody else. Okay. But what that is for you guys to ask any questions. If I need to reteach something, I can do that. It's going to be just one of those things where I also get to say hi and just talk to you guys because I do miss you. I hope that you guys are keeping safe, that you guys are doing your homework and practicing and giving this your best effort. I know this isn't ideal, but it's going to be something that is our reality for at least another couple weeks. So Thursday at 10, the Zoom link is posted on Schoology. I will also send it out Wednesday on our reminders or update list on Schoology, just so you have that. And it'll be every Thursday at 10 a.m. if you're interested in joining. So with that said, good luck on the memorized verbs this week. Ser, ir, ver, dar, hacer. All right. Good talking with you guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.